What are the pros and cons of going through an incubator versus friends and family or self funding?
I would say the incubator accelerator route is cool because they give you money. I think 500 startups invested 125K into us, and they're professional investors. So there's validation because they've invested in a lot of other successful companies before. Psychologically, you're like, oh, okay, like maybe I can be like the unicorn or like a public company because they've invested in companies like that in the past. And then you get to work with, I don't know, I think at the time, I don't know, like 15 or 20 other companies in a similar stage as you. So you get the sense of community, everyone's sort of going through the same struggles, and you just sort of replace your friends with all these other ambitious people because you're just, moved from New York all the way to California. And that was really cool to just change your surroundings just like that, where you live, where you ate, who you talked with. And they were just replaced by this mystical place called Silicon Valley, where somehow Apple and Google and Microsoft started. And the office we were working at was where Elon Musk started his first company before PayPal. And he like slept in that office. And it was just like, I drove by the Facebook house and there's all this like historical, inspiring vibe there that was just very different than like being in Long Island or being in Queens. Part of it was delusional, right? We're just like, yeah, like everything's going to be fine because if they did it, we could do it. But sometimes you need a little bit of that delusion to sort of kickstart your dreams where you have to be a little bit naive. You have to be a little bit overconfident based on your surroundings because otherwise it's so easy to get into your own head and just think that it's absolutely ridiculous to build a $10 million business or something like that, right? Like it would just be like, what? That's stupid. I have this website that just collects email addresses and introduces them. How on earth would this ever make like $500,000 a month or $1 million a month? But if you have a combination of like, there's people out there that did this, I'm surrounded by other people that are doing this, and there's investors that have seen this happen and they want equity in my company, right? So there's a lot of it where you're independently thinking, you're thinking for yourself, but to like have all of those forces draw you in versus like a friends and family sort of thing, you're no longer in your own reality. You're in a different reality right now. And I think that's important. Nowadays, I think it's different. I moved to Long Island City to get away from that, where it became a thing where everyone I met in San Francisco was doing a tech company. So everyone was thinking the same way and hiring the same people and, thinking about the same. It was just too much of the sameness. I just want to move back and I want to build a really big company in Queens, which is where I was born. And I got this cool office that's right nearby my apartment, which is similar to like our flow in Silicon Valley. It was like our house was here, our office was here. There's just one street. And I wanted to sort of recreate that here. And I got to sort of like make that happen. And then we went into this another like 2+ year journey of just not hanging out with any tech people. We're just going to do our own thing and figure it out because we did struggle a lot even after we raised our initial round of funding. And we couldn't find product market fit. So we just kind of was just like, let's just go into a 2-year hole and shut the door behind us. And until we get profitable, we're not going to do anything else. Like we're just going to figure this out somehow, some way. And that's what we did.